Hi. In this episode, we're going to talk about managing jobs. What a job is a task that's being run in your shell. This could be a command, this could be a script, or anything that you decide to execute as part of, typing a command or typing out a script and just running it within the shell. And that's really what a job is. It's called a shell job, in fact. To see a list of all the jobs that your shell is executing, you can use the jobs command. You can view other information about the jobs like the job ID and process ID. And the commands that you actually run, you can manage the job that it's going to perform, whether that is running that command in the background or moving jobs back and forth from foreground to background in order to free up your actual shell so you can type other commands while this job is happening in the background. There's other commands that allow you to manage jobs, such as pausing a running job, canceling out a job, or sending an end-of-file character to let a job know that your input is done and the job can come to an end. In the next lab, in the practical side of it, we're going to show you on the command line how to begin jobs and how to manage jobs, whether they're running in the background, in the foreground, and how to really identify jobs using their job ID and process ID. Please stay tuned for the lab. In this episode, we're going to show you how to manage jobs inside your shell. A job is really a process or something that the shell is taking care of doing for you. So these could be certain commands that you're running within the shell. Sometimes you run a command like echo hello, and the command runs and it ends immediately. So really, you don't have to manage the command or manage the job that's running because its lifecycle is milliseconds. It starts, it ends right in front of you without any sort of thing. Certain things, such as, for example, a sleep command can again use up the shell longer. So in certain scripts, you sometimes include sleep commands, but for now, for the purposes of this episode, it's just for demonstration purposes. I can put sleep 3, and you will notice that I don't immediately get the shell back for 3 seconds. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then I get the shell back. So what I am trying to make you understand is that sometimes when you run certain commands, they can actually occupy your shell. So let's put, for example, sleep 300. Hey, now I don't have use of my shell for the next 300 seconds. This may not be ideal for certain situations, and sometimes the only way to jump out of it is cancel the job or close the shell. So here is where the managing jobs comes in. You can actually pause the job, you can cancel the job based on certain keystrokes. Ctrl+Z is to pause the job. Now the job is stopped. And you can then actually start it again by pressing FG to bring it back into the foreground, give the job ID that's noted here, and now the job is running again. That's Ctrl+Z to pause a job and bring it from foreground to background, etc. So again, I can press Ctrl+Z and I can say run in the background. So I'll just say BG, and now the job is running. However, it's in the background. To bring it back to the foreground, again, I can say FG1, and now it's back to the foreground. If I want to completely cancel the job, I can press Ctrl and C to then, again, cancel some interactive job that's happening. If I want to actually start this job right away from the background, I will just put an ampersand in front of the command. And this not only works for the sleep command, but for any command. Think of an important command like copying a big stack of files or, backing up a huge piece of data. Hey, you don't want that to take up your shell, so you can always run the command in the background with the ampersand. And now there's a job that's running in the background. You can display job status by the command jobs, and you can see that, hey, there is a command that's running in the background. You can always bring it to the foreground with FG1, and now this job is in the foreground until you decide to manage it further. And again, you can press Ctrl+Z to pause it, send it to the background with BG, or bring it to the foreground with FG, and, actually go through the entire sort of life cycle of your jobs that the shell is in charge of. So hopefully you've learned something in this episode of how to manage jobs that are running from the shell that are, started based on the commands that you're typing. Thank you for watching this episode. I'll see you in the next one.